Welcome to the September update. Now you may have thought we'd finished digging holes in the top yard, but we found something else it was worth digging a hole for. What the guys are doing here is connecting, for the first time in a very long time I suspect, the turntable into the new rainwater drainage system. So we should have less problems with the water collecting in the top yard, we hope. Not yet painted and quite finished, but here is the custom built new window in the side of the brass foundry. So what we've got now is the historic structures showing themselves off a little more. I do rather suspect that this little corner here will end up as a depository for deliveries if we can't persuade people to take them round to the pallet rack. But nevertheless, it's great to see the window in. We can never have enough storage, so this is some of the new storage that's built at the end of the wagon repair shed, and it's very useful for things that railway specialists like myself call widgets. So there are lots of widgets now being stored in here. Somebody knows what these are, but it's great now to be able to start storing things in their final location. Take us a while to catalogue it all. But we're very pleased with these incredibly sturdy, heavy-duty shelves that are starting to appear everywhere. We're back in the control room here. We discovered a design fault. When we first put this partition in, and it folded back neatly, it actually folded back into the control room, which meant there wasn't room for the screens. So our incredibly clever joiner has managed to rejig it, move all the hinges, and turn it so that it folds the much more sensible way of towards the window. And this is the little kitchenette in the control area for making teas and coffees. So it's not often that an accessible toilet is actually also the access to the plant room behind. It's got a very special narrow door here so we can get to all the pipes and valves when we need to. But this provides us as well with a downstairs accessible toilet for here. Don't worry, all the blue stuff will disappear and it will all look pristine when it's finished. So we're on the final fit out now in cottage number 1. This is the radiator. So you wonder why the radiators are so big. It's because it's all driven by air source heat pumps, and so the radiators have to be bigger. This is Mike, who's doing the final fix of the electrics. And the fireplace there will have a wood-burning stove put in it once these guys are finished. Follow me. We'll take you through the little galley kitchen. So here we are in the upstairs little flatlet, and this is the sitting room and tiny kitchenette here. So you can see we're getting into the final stages now of fitting out here, and yet another massive radiator on the side. One of the challenges here has actually been the lights. So originally we were going to have pendant lights, and we realised I'm only 5'3", and if I can nearly touch the ceiling, normal people are going to have trouble. So we're changing the light fittings so they sit on the ceiling and that people aren't going to brain themselves unless they're extremely tall. So here we've got some outlets. They're actually ventilation outlets that come from the gents' toilets and showers. And we just had the cast iron outlets initially, but because the stonework is so uneven, we've had to put the boards behind them. But in case you're wondering what they are, these are the ventilation outlets. I'm standing in the den, the mess room now. This is going to be the last building to be finished, and actually this is the one that's caused us the most delays. 2 reasons for that. The air source heat pumps that serve this building and the barracks, there's been a delay in getting them commissioned, and they can't commission them until mid-September, and no air source heat pumps means no hot water as well as no heating. So we can't take the building on until then, but you can see it's now in its final fix. The other thing that we've had trouble with and has delayed us a lot is we're having a bespoke stainless steel kitchen made for making all the teas and coffees and stuff, and the manufacturer went bust 3 weeks ago. So the designer, fortunately, has managed to scrabble around and find a new manufacturer but of course that now won't be delivered until mid-September as well. So what that means is we're now looking at practical completion at the end of September, and that's given the contractor a bit more time to finish all the little odds and ends. We're not too far off here now, so you can see the painting has begun. This red paint, I mean, it's lovely, but it takes at least 3 coats, if not 4. This has had 2 so far. Coming on though, coming on. Do you remember these? These were on the floor of the old den. So in a fit of nostalgia, we've taken a handful of them and we're going to put them in the doorway between the wash-off area and the den, just to give us a nod back to the old den.
Welcome back to the small loco shed. There's not a lot to say this time, but the shed's in use, which is fantastic. So we've got a few finishing off jobs to do still. The water installation has made good progress, and the air installation is still to come in the next month or so. But in the meantime, the shed is in use both as a loco shed. Lil has been working out of here to work on the shuttles that bring the people across for the Boston Lodge tours. Book on to those if you haven't already. And of course the guided tours themselves are coming around and being able to see a lot of our loco collection here. So again, please book onto the tours if you want to come and see this. The other loco, unexpectedly, that's been working out of here is our new electric shunter, and that's been living where your camera is now on the pit road, just keeping itself out of the way and being able to be stored securely and in the dry, which is fantastic.
But that's it for September. We really will be finished at the end of this month. Well, apart from the things that they're allowed to do after practical completion, but there'll be things that won't stop us from using the buildings. In October, what I'd like to do is show you around the finished buildings so you can see what it was all for.